Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hope your week is winding down. You're getting ready for the weekend. I kind of today I looked at my collection, and I'm always trying to, find the next greatest knife to review, etc. I tried to narrow my collection down to like if I had to pick three blades from three different categories in my collection currently, what would they be? And I kind of broke it down into fixed blades. So I had to pick one of my fixed blades. I had to get rid of everything else, fire sale, etc. I had to pick a gentleman or like an everyday carry folder, and then I had to pick like an apocalypse EDC folder. And I was actually able to narrow it down to my top three, and I kind of wanted to share that with you, just so you all get an idea of like the knives, not only that I'm looking at, but what kind of piques my interest and like what I look for in a knife. So, without any further ado, so the fixed blade that I would pick if I could pick one of my fixed blades for everyday carry is this RMJ Tactical. So this is the Jackdraw, and I kind of covered this when I went over the state of my collection. But if I'm carrying a fixed blade, this is always the fixed blade that I'm carrying. Like I love the design of it. Like, to be honest with you, like really stabby knives don't really appeal to me, and that like it just doesn't serve any purpose. This one I've used for camp food prep. It's super slicey. Has a really nice, the blade stock on it. It's super thick. I also think that, a lot of times we look at these knives and it's like, oh, how tactical can we make them? Like, I love the orange backspacer on here because if I lose it or drop it, I can actually find this thing. But more oftentimes than not, like if I'm carrying, like I know I've said in other videos, like I scout carry a lot, which this is set up for. If I'm carrying a fixed blade, this is it. And I really do like, I love it. When you get into too big of knives, like I want, and I don't know, I don't pretend to be, the end all be all as far as like self-defense situations go, but you really want like a smaller knife that nobody can really grab onto and take away from you. And I love the size of this. It has jimping down here, has jimping up here. So, for finer stuff, you could slice garlic with this thing. And so all around, I think like as far as a fixed blade goes, like I love this Jackdraw. And kind of coming in second in that race for the one fixed blade to rule them all is my Chris Reeve Professional Soldier, which this one is just like, honestly, it's been with me for so long, but that's not to say that like a folder couldn't accomplish what this does, but this was a close second for me. And I'm definitely going to be reviewing this knife in a while, and in a little bit, hopefully. But I'm disappointed that they discontinued production of this knife, and obviously it didn't come with this like 550 cord, whatever. One of the guys I worked with did that, but I love this knife all around. But if I had to pick one fixed blade that I was going to use all the time, I'm going with this RMJ Jackdraw. So definitely check them out. Like, they're not unreasonably priced. They're made in the US. The fit finish is absolutely amazing. Can't say enough good things about RMJ writ large, but particularly this Jackdraw. This is my favorite fixed blade that I carry. With that, I'll get into, I'm trying to think of which one to do next. So as far as like a gentleman's folder goes, which I equate to the knife that you could kind of like take out in a situation and no one would kind of look at you sideways. I know I just recently reviewed my Spyderco Manix 2XL, which that one, you bust that out at, I don't know. I won't tell my story, but I definitely know that people will raise their eyebrows to that one. And as far as a gentleman's folder goes, like, you cannot beat a Sharp by Design Mini Tempest. You just can't. Like, I'm sorry. Like, anybody can say whatever they want. You can talk. I have Shiros, I have Curtis, I have Quiet Carry, I have Hinder, I have Strider, I have like, you name it. Like, I will hunt it down and I will get it. This knife, I have two of these now, mind you. Like, this isn't even like this is probably just like a love affair. Like, this knife is absolutely crazy, and I can't say good enough. I don't know. Like, I every time I pick this thing up, like as far as like fidget value goes, the sharpness, fit and finish, what they're doing, everything I look at on this knife, I'm like, oh, I see why they did that. And I can't say that for many knives at all. So Brian Nadeau, Sharp by Design. These are made by Riot. follow them on Instagram, because that's how I got my first one. I ended up trading for this one. But I mean, even if another Tempest comes up and it's the right price, like I will buy it. Like, as far as a gentleman's folder goes, like, this thing's the bee's knees. And I recently picked up a Quiet Carry Drift, which I haven't yet carried it enough in order to review it. But a lot of people in this day and age, I would say, is like, oh, Quiet Carry Drift, like that's it, that's the end all be all. And like, I'll still come back to this Tempest. Like, I'm sorry, like I love it. It has all the qualities I look to in a knife, and this thing's really special to me. So that's definitely going to be my gentleman's carry. As far as an all-around carry goes, this took me a little bit to decide, and I was just going to go with my normal Strider SMF, but I really do like this SNG that I picked up. Like, I think, like, if I had to pick one knife, which I gave myself the latitude to kind of pick 3 for this video, but if I had to pick one kind of all-around EDC knife, it's going to be a Strider SNG. And it's unfortunate now. Like, I know Mick Strider, he basically was like, oh, I've reached like the apex of knife making, whatever. And so, I mean, they're putting out higher end knives, which I know there's a lot of people that collect these, SNGs, SMFs, but the older Strider SNGs, like, if you can get your hand on one, like, I really would, just because, like, this is my favorite design knife. I love how you can choke up. Like, I love the action of it. It's extremely predictable. I know what this thing can do, and I can do everything with this knife. As far as folders go, there's nothing that another folder can do that I can't do with this knife. It's not very obtrusive. It's titanium. I love, like, how it's flamed, has great steel. This is it. Like, it really is. And I do want to be, I'm cautious in saying that. I was on the fence. I was like, oh man, like, as I've said in my past videos, so I had a zero tolerance 0561 that was taken away from me by TSA in one of my checked bags, and so I picked up an XM18. I do like this knife, but not to the tune of the SNG. Like, I can't describe it. Like, this one's almost like it's too blocky, it's too heavy. I just, like, I'm used to the Strider design, and like, this knife is the winner for me. So I don't know. Hopefully you all found that, like, kind of not interesting, but in the sense of, like, seeing where my head's at with things. Like, when I review knives, I'm constantly looking for the latest and greatest. I'm always looking at new deals, new knives that I can test. Like, I'm not flipping. I'm definitely buying and selling and trading knives on a daily basis. Like, that's kind of what I like to do in my spare time. So I mean, basically from where I'm at, that's those are my favorites. And it's kind of a little bonus footage. Like, I know I covered it in my, the current state of my collection, but I also wanted to go over, like, after I got rid of through talking about those 3 knives, I want to talk about the worst knife that I've ever held and ever been given, etc. So this is the worst knife, and I need to put this back in my Jeep. I literally only carry it because it has a glass breaker right here and it has a seatbelt cutter right here. I leave it in, like, the door panel of my Jeep. But this Blackhawk, which is a CQD Mark 1, is the worst knife ever. So I mean, I would love it if someone, like, hit me up on YouTube and was like, this is actually my favorite knife, like, here's why. I'm all ears. But I don't know. I mean, like, you have this, like, seatbelt cutter. There's these, like, recessed whatever scales or gills, I guess you'd call them, on that. Now, I was looking at it because I hadn't touched this knife in a while, but opening it up, there's actually, like, a lock here. So you like, lock it in place so that if you hit this thumb release, that it won't, like, chomp down on you. But the ergonomics, the size of this thing, I'm like, whoever decided, like, I kind of picture myself in, like, a design room where they're like, all right, this is what the CQD Mark 1 is going to look like, and people were like, 100% throw it in production, like, we're on board. So I wanted to cover my 3 favorite knives and then my worst favorite knife, which is this one. I don't even think, like, I would never sell this to anyone because I wouldn't want to deal with whatever. Like, I'm just, this thing is the worst. So, give you 3 of my favorite knives and 1 of my worst. Hope you all are having a good weekend, and I'm looking forward to next coming up. Like, I want to hit this Quiet Carry Drift. I think I have enough information on it in order to be able to review it, and I really do like that. The other thing that I recently picked up, and I have a couple other knives on the way, but I'm not a huge Boker fan just because they're all kind of, I don't know, they're frilly and kind of like basic in a way, but I did not end up picking up one of their Quakens. This one was obviously like used, but one of the things, I don't know if it's like flavor of the week, but I'm really into this like mashed up carbon fiber look, and the copper scales on it. I wouldn't say it's inherently like a EDC, like, yeah, this is the only blade you need kind of thing, but I do like this Quaken, and I'm going to be carrying it a little bit. I got it yesterday in the mail, but I'm going to carry it for a couple of days, and then I will be doing a review of it. So, yeah, hope you all are doing well, and we'll see you next time.